sometimes I get asked quite a lot in videos, should I use a gas mask or respirator, or should you use a gas mask or respirator if you're doing urban exploration? And a lot of people ask that because of the concerns in buildings, if there's asbestos in sort of old buildings and things like that. I've been doing urbex things now and again, but I'm not somebody who does it massively, but there are a few points I'd like to raise myself, even though I'm not an expert on it, just that I think might be worth taking in mind. So first of all, don't even bother with the flimsy dust masks that you can get in places. If you do enough research into dust masks, you'll know that they're pretty much next to useless. You'll think you're being protected because you're wearing them, but they don't really offer any protection. So ignore dust masks completely. If you're going to wear a dust mask, don't wear a mask at all, or wear a proper mask. So the reason is, and I've been over this before, is even if you have the 4-strap dust masks with the nose sort of thing on it, you know, 1 strap low, 1 strap high, and the thing there, it's still not going to make a proper face seal because the material most dust masks are made out of is not flexible enough to make a face seal. If there is any gap at all, even a very small one, around the mask in your face, when you breathe in air, the air will go through the gap in the mask because it's easier than going through the filter. Air follows the path of least resistance, therefore a poorly fitting dust mask offers no protection really. So don't bother with dust masks. What I think would be ideal, and sadly I don't have it to hand to show you in this video, is something like the 3M7500 with particulate filters on it. Any of those rubber half face masks would be great. The reason I particularly like the idea of using those is that because it sort of cuts off around your nose area and it's a rubber mask that makes a good face seal, you can have your proper good asbestos filters in there, so it'll block anything like asbestos or dust or anything like mould, particles, anything like that. But more importantly, you get a good field of view. Now, the issue is why I'm not rushing out to recommend lots of full-face gas masks, because I think they cut your field of view down quite a bit. And I actually think if you're urban exploring, you're probably going to run the risk of stepping through sort of rotten floorboards, something like that, having a fall, stepping on some rusty metal, you know, maybe impaling your foot on rusty metal, so obviously wear good boots as well. But the point is that, you know, I'd be very wary myself about wanting to use a mask like this, simply because I'll demonstrate when I've got it on, my field of view is going to be cut right down. So let me get this on. Okay, so I've got this mask on now. I'll just loosen it a bit because I've done that a bit tight on my temples, but the issue is that obviously my field of view has really been cut down, so I can't see anything below here now. Obviously I can see ahead of me a bit, but I can't look down that easily, especially with the filter here. It stops me looking down. My field of view is reduced to the sides as well, and obviously above. So if there's any threats in the building, and I'm not really talking about people, although that might be a hazard in some urban exploration places, more like dodgy ceilings that might collapse, dodgy floors that might collapse, stuff on the floor that you might step on and impale into your foot or twist your ankle, something like that. I think a full-size respirator is going to cause you problems because you can't see all that well to your sides and floor, depending on the mask. Some masks do have very good fields of view. So bear that in mind. I'm not saying that all full-face respirators are bad and don't give you a good field of view. I'm simply saying that because a lot cut the field of view down, that might lead to additional hazards that you wouldn't experience. So I think overall I would recommend a half-face mask. I think that would be very sensible, because the ones that make a good half-face seal, and I mean the rubber ones, not dust masks, just to go over that again. The rubber half-face masks, like the 3M ones and whatever, you can get one with a P3 particulate level 3 filter on it. That will give you protection from asbestos and other sorts of, you know, like mould spores and things like that you might get in old buildings. And your field of view isn't cut down that much. So obviously a mask only going to here is going to let you see down fairly well. You'll still lose a bit of field of view, but you're not going to lose any field of view to the sides or above, and your field of view down is still going to be much better than wearing pretty much any full face mask I know of. So that would be my recommendation, is to get a 3M or similar half face mask where you can put P3 filters on it, and that way you should get a very good field of view, but you know, you can still have lung protection, because I do think lung protection is sensible in a place like that. I think you're only really going to need a particle level 3 filter, not a CBRN sort of ABEC P3 filter, because I think the risk of old chemicals in at least most of the buildings like that. If you're obviously exploring an old chemical factory, I'd say use a full filter, but for most of them I think it's just going to be asbestos and dusts and mould and stuff like that, which are blocked by particulate filters. There you go. That's my opinion on it, because I have had people ask me about that with the urban exploration, what mask should I wear. Half face mask would be my recommendation for all the reasons I've stated in the video.